Okay, so yeah, I still want to record a video even though I don't have my like tripod GoPro hand stick thingy, so I'm just using my hand. But I kind of wanted to continue actually on the last video of, yeah, discipline and consistency is built by doing the things you love. I think that's extremely true. And I wanted to just like, I guess, talk more about how exactly I stay consistent by doing the things I love and what I do personally. So yeah, I kind of wanted to share more about like my personal habits and a little bit more about like, yeah, I guess exactly what I do. So first thing I do, I think I mentioned this last video, sorry, it might be a little loud. Yeah, every single morning I wake up and I go outside. Usually, I guess it depends on the weather, but a lot of the times I just go out, I just put on some random clothes like shorts and stuff, and then I go out. And yeah, something I started doing recently actually is called a gratitude walk. So just starting the day, because I feel like the first few minutes of waking up can set the tone for the day. And for me, what's very important for me is like with relationship with God and just like living a joyful life and living a life I love is doing that like throughout my day all the time. And how do you do that except through like gratitude and constant gratitude? So yeah, that's a very like something I'm trying to work on a lot more. And I feel like if I don't do something in the morning, if I don't start in the morning, then it's a lot harder to just keep it up throughout the day. So I do a gratitude walk and I think about 5 things I'm grateful for. Could be small things, it could be big things, it could be things just around me, just like the beautiful nature, stuff like that. And then I come inside and then before I eat, I try to do like more spiritual habits. So I try to do some reading. I'm trying to learn more about love. So I'm trying to educate myself on the laws, the principles, and the truth of love, of true love, of God's love. And I think that's really beneficial for me. For me, that is my goal, like throughout my day. The hardest part is practicing it. And that was also my intention today. And yeah, so I do some reading, and then I also do some meditation. And the thing is, like with these habits, like I do however much I feel. I'm a very emotional person, and for me, I really try to make that my strength. I really try to play to my strengths, play to who I am. And for me, that's very crucial. Like depending on who you are, you have to like shift things around. Depending on like what you like, what type of person you are, stuff like this. Because if you just do something, if you follow exactly what somebody else does, and they're nothing like you, you don't understand the things in the way that they understand it, then it might not work out. I'm gonna pause real quick. Okay, so yeah, I mean, you gotta figure out what works for you, and you gotta figure out, yeah, I guess like who you are. Because yeah, like maybe meditating doesn't work for everybody. It's very hard for people to just sit down and do nothing. And you know, yeah, I guess it really depends on who you are. For me, with reading, in the culture within my church that I grew up in, is we would do readings for like maybe like 20-30 minutes, and we would go through, and we'd wake up like in the morning like 6 or 6:30 a.m. and then we'd read immediately. And it sounds like a really good habit, but if your motivation isn't there, and especially if somebody else is telling you to do it, then are you really gonna get anything out of that? And I'm sure reading this stuff, like reading stuff about like God's love and stuff like that, it'll definitely be good for the subconscious mind for sure. But is there anything you're really gonna apply after reading when you can barely see? At least for me, I can barely see when I wake up. I barely even realize that I exist. So how am I gonna be able to digest like these like God's words that I'm reading? So that's yeah, for me, what I do currently is I read until I find something meaningful, and I write it down, and I try and meditate on it a little bit, and I think about how I can practice that in my day. And I could be reading for 10 seconds and find something, and I'd be good. And so it's like, it doesn't have to be such big commitments with like reading, meditating. You can meditate for a minute, just meditate, close your eyes. For 10 seconds, you can say, this is what I'm gonna do today, or I'm gonna focus on receiving the love in the world around me right now. So it's really like in these small ways that you have to figure out for yourself what works, that can make a big impact on you. So yeah, I think that's really important, just with staying consistent, is knowing what you can deal with, and then knowing what you can add on even after that, after you've built something up. It's kind of like what some mentor just texted me just recently. It was like you have to know like what's in your comfort zone. You have to know what you can handle, but you also have to know like when it's time to go out of your comfort zone, and know when to like improve or do something that's not usual for you, something that's hard, and that's how you grow. So yeah, for me, that's doing this right now. I never do this until recently, and I'm doing it in spots that I usually wouldn't. People are looking at me, and I even did it on like a busy street, and people are looking at me, people are having conversations. And I live in Sweden, so like everybody knows what I'm saying. But I can't really understand what people are saying, because mostly everybody speaks English here. So I think to me that's a very good thing, because I don't have to worry about what other people are saying, even if they hear whatever I say. So yeah, I take it as like more of a pro than anything than a con. So yeah, and then at the end of my day, I sometimes go on a walk just to find like clarity. Yeah, for me, for example, it's like if I 100% know that this walk is gonna give me clarity, and I'm not feeling clear, or I'm feeling that I'm going towards like some escapes, like social media, stuff like that. So if I know 100% that this walk, even for going outside for 1 second, is gonna help me, that's exactly what I'm gonna do. But it can't happen like that. It's really built up. So yeah, I walk, I meditate, I pray. I think that's really important. And I'm recently getting into kind of like manifestation, or honestly, manifestation is kind of just like goal setting in a different way. Like you're kind of setting a goal, and it's like this will happen 100%. And I guess manifestation takes it to another step. Is like I already have this, but I think it's just like, it's making it more real, making it more substantial. For example, today I just got a dog walking job, and I just did my first day today. And people are asking me about like getting a job and stuff. And, you know, for the first time, like after struggling with depression, I didn't want to get a job. But now it's like, I want to do something that I can handle. I love animals. I love being outside. And I felt like it was exactly what I wanted. So I built it up slowly, you know, doing one application every day. And then at one point I was like, I'm really ready to get a job. And I'm really hoping to get a job, because when you're not depressed anymore and you're basically just bored. If you have purpose, if you have love, if that purpose is not being used, you're just gonna be bored. So I just need to do something. So people are asking me like, yeah, like, are you gonna get a job? Like, what's going on? I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna get a job hopefully like next week. Like, I was just so confident that this is exactly what I want to do, just through knowing where I'm at with my self-awareness and who I am. It's extremely important. That's essential for any of this, is to know some part of who you are and your identity. That's extremely important, to know really what works for you. So anyways, yeah, that's almost a way I practiced manifestation, is that I was like, yeah, I'm gonna get this in the next week. And yeah, praise God, I literally got a job in that next week. And funny enough, it's the only job that responded to me out of like the 30, 40 applications I sent. It's the only one that responded to me. And here's the kicker. Is that they're one out of 2 companies that I actually followed back up on, because they mentioned to me that, like, oh yeah, we don't have any space now, but in these months we will. So when those months came, I messaged them. I was like, so what's going on? And like, oh, perfect timing. We're actually just thinking about you. And I think in that way I also went out and got it. I didn't just sit down and wait to, wait for things to come to me. And for me, actually, I think this is an extremely valuable lesson in God's love. Not necessarily to mean that God's not loving you all the time and you have to work for that love. But and it's not that. It's what I mean is that you have to be open to receive it. If you're not putting yourself in the environment or the situations where you can receive love and you're closing yourself up, like, God doesn't even have a chance. And yeah, just like right now, just in this beautiful nature, all these places, like, I'm putting myself here because I want to receive love. I want to acknowledge God, and I want to create by doing this right now. So anyways, yeah, thank you so much for watching. It feels really good to say this, to do this. I encourage everybody who has thought about doing content creating just to do it, even commit to a challenge like myself. I've never done this before. I never put my face on the internet. This is the first time I'm doing it. Highly recommend. So yeah, hope you guys have an amazing day. God bless, and bye.